Welcome to DROD'S MMA and Boxing. Is Gerald Washington the guy to dethrone Deontay Wilder? This is my pre-fight analysis, and I'm going to answer the question if this is another cherry pick for Deontay Wilder. So I did my own research, and I'm going to give you my own analysis. I decided to do my own extensive research opposed to just coming out here and spewing out biases. I feel like you guys get enough of that. And I just basically wanted to give Gerald Washington his chance. And I did everything I can to be completely honest with you guys and not give you my own opinions or biases. It's going to be my opinion, but at least they're not going to be an unfair observation. So basically, Gerald Washington is 34 years old, 18 wins and 12 KOs. He is a UFC alumni, and he fought Ray Austin, who was KO'd 4 times before this fight, and he was 46 years old. He basically did his thing against him. He fought a veteran Eddie Chambers to a unanimous decision. This was an 8-round fight, which is very interesting to see at this point of his career, him having 8-round fights. He then fought Amir Mansour to a controversial draw, and very controversial. People were booing him at the fight, and one judge had it 97-93, which was absurd. He outweighed Mansour by 25 pounds, and he landed clean shots but was unable to drop him. What was interesting was Steve Cunningham, who isn't known for knocking opponents out or his punching power, was able to drop Mansour. After this fight, he ended up fighting Brazil and was knocked out by Brazil. He then fought Jason Gavin in another 8-round fight. Gavin was being KO'd a total of 11 times in his career, 8 times before this fight. That went to a unanimous decision, and Gerald Washington was unable to put the finishing touches on him. He then fought Mike Shepard, who he outweighed by 15 pounds. Shepard's been KO'd 15 times, has 20 losses, and 12 times KO before fighting Washington. This was another 8-round fight that went the decision. He fought Nagy Aguilera, who only been knocked out maybe once or twice before this fight. Not known for his punch of power, but this was another controversial unanimous decision by Gerald Washington to the point where the crowd booed him. Now, Washington is known for his jab. He's got a pretty good jab. He likes to consider himself as a boxer. I consider him more of a brawler just because it was just too late in the game for him to develop the skills to be a good boxer. He has a pretty decent right hand. He throws it as a hook sometimes. I like it better when he throws it straight. Sometimes it's kind of wild because he throws it looping, and it's I call this like the caveman style because there's very little technique to it. His feet are not planted, and he's just kind of swinging it in. What I noticed a lot was him being 6'6", 246 pounds. It's kind of weird to see smaller fighters out jabbing him, pushing him back to the ropes. That tells me his jab isn't as strong as people think, and this is why it's hard. He has a hard time keeping guys off of him and keeping guys from overcrowding him. For a guy his size, and I'm biased in this point because I'm used to seeing guys like Vladimir Klitschko and Lennox Lewis with tough jabs who are able to paralyze their opponents with jabs. Now, to answer the question why he wasn't able to finish guys like Shepard and Reese, well, I don't think he has much punching power. He's unable to knock out guys like Leon, even though he's able to land 14 clean shots in a row. And you have to ask yourself, he's 246 pounds. Why is he not able to knock these guys out? Especially this guy. Why is he not able to knock him at least down? And, when I watched him fight some of his fights, I noticed that guys like Mansour and Aguilera, they would get hit with these nice, clean, telling shots, but they were unfazed by these shots, and they were able to continue coming forward. I noticed, too, that he's not able to put punches together. He seems to always be off balance, and he's kind of windy with his punches, kind of weird. Poor distance management, and his shots are just so wild. He's just not in the position to throw multiple shots. And if he's able to land one, I doubt he'll be able to land 2 or 3. And in a high caliber fight like this against Deontay Wilder, I just don't see him being able to do anything. He also is a defensive liability. He goes straight back. His head is up high. His hands is down low. And, you have to ask yourself a question. If Deontay Wilder is able to push him back like these little guys are, and his head is laying straight up, will he be able to withstand Deontay Wilder's punching power and pressure. He doesn't have an alpha male mentality, which is kind of interesting for a guy his size. And you got to ask yourself this question. If he exposed himself like this to Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua, would he be able to stay in the ring for the long haul? It's interesting, though, because, like I said, he's just too big of a guy to get pushed to the ropes like this and have smaller guys out jab him, snapping his head back. And, I'm trying to be unbiased about it, but realistically, he's a big guy. And just to see him knocked around the ring like that, it doesn't look like he has a shot at really making Deontay Wilder pay in there. And a lot of times you see him getting hit by these guys, and he's falling around the ring like a featherweight. It's just very weird to see someone like a Aguilera or even a Mansoor who is able to push him around the ring and be 25 pounds lighter. Now, another issue I noticed is that he has stamina issues, which explains why he has so many 8-round fights. Because the promoter and the manager knows that he's only good for 4 rounds. And basically, it's very weird because when he gets tired, he's very sloppy. He has no control of his footing. He's falling all over the rings. And Deontay Wilder has 1 11-round knockout. He has 4 knockouts going past the 6. And, you have to ask yourself a question. If it goes to 6, 7 round, will he be able to withstand Deontay Wilder's punching power? It's very important that we don't go by padded records just because, I prefer to use the eyeball test. I got to see the fight for myself, and I got to see these fighters because weird things happen in there that are unexplainable. Like I said, he has 2 fights that went to the decision, Aguilera and Mansoor, that many people thought he lost. And then you have some, a lot of times guys just come in there for a paycheck, and that's all they're in there for, are paychecks. So the question is this a cherry pick for Deontay Wilder, and is he the guy to dethrone Wilder? My answer is no, and yes, it is a cherry pick. The reason why I say that is because with 3 weeks notice, and he already has problem with his stamina issue in a full training camp, I highly doubt he's going to be able to go in there and be in physical top shape for a 12-round fight against Deontay Wilder. I highly doubt he's going to be able to fix his flaws, and he has the 18-0 record that just look good on paper. But realistically, if you use the eyeball test or common sense, you would see that this is not the fight for him. And that's just my analysis. That's my post-fight review. That's just my review. This is DROD'S MMA and Boxing. If you like what you hear and this is any value to you, hit the subscribe button. I'll give you more unbiased observations.
Definitely won the fight. I definitely won the fight, no doubt about it. I won the first 4 rounds for sure. I rested up a little bit in the middle. I was getting myself back. The last 3, 4, man, he wasn't even touching me. He was chasing me around. He wasn't letting me. That's why they're cheering me and they're booing him. I knew what it was before I came over here. Al Heyman territory. I knew if I didn't blow him out, I wasn't going to get the decision. I'm actually surprised they even gave me a draw.